The Centers for Spiritual Living 2024 theme is Grand Rising. Our March theme is, if we're to step into Grand Rising, we must be willing to embrace a new way of experiencing and expressing ourselves. This month we're looking at what newness feels like, as it inspires our evolution. So today's talk is entitled, Tell Me Something Good. It's always good to have a title like that. And I'd like to introduce our speaker for today. She's co-president of our board. She's a CSL practitioner for Winnipeg. She teaches courses. With no further ado, please help me welcome Audrey Beaudry.
Thank you, Peter. Grand Rising, everybody. So today let's delve into that intriguing space where our intellect meets our intuition, where problem solving encounters divine guidance from spirit, and where the known intersects with the unknown. And hopefully I can tell you something good. So I picked the song Amazing Grace this morning. A lot of you might know this, but I'll say it for myself again. It was written by a sea captain, Captain Smith. And the reason he was a sea captain that one of the jobs he had was transporting slaves from Africa to America. And he knew people were dying on the route, and he knew it wasn't, in his Christian faith, it wasn't proper. But along his last journey, there was a big storm that came up. And he was fearful for everybody's life. And he got down on his knees and prayed to God that if you stop the storm, I'll stop working in the slave trade. And the storm immediately stopped. And that was his last shipment, for lack of a bad word. But and he went on to write the song Amazing Grace, I've Been Saved. And, it lives on generations later. So, imagine this scenario. You are faced with a problem that seems utterly insurmountable. You have exhausted all your rational routes, and yet the solution eludes you. Have you ever been there? In these moments, we often forget there is a deeper intelligence within us, waiting patiently to offer the perfect answer. Yes, I'm talking about our inner voice, that gut feeling and sense of knowing beyond knowing. Some like to call it Spirit GSP, Spirit's GSP. Albert Einstein says, when the solution is simple, God is answering. Sometimes, I don't know, anybody like me, sometimes you get the message and it's like, it can't be that simple. Yeah. So what do we do when we hit the roadblocks of rationality? 3 things. First, we release our need to constantly figure it out. An old family friend who is a Baptist has a fridge magnet. She's had it for decades on her fridge, and it says, Lord, I leave my troubles in your hands. We could have a new thought affirmation. I don't know how, but Spirit does. I don't know how, but Spirit does. Yeah. Secondly, we invite our inner guidance to take the wheel and lead us to uncharted territories. Now, this seems to be less and less of a skill each generation. My father, walked off the farm at 14 and a half, never to return. And I recently heard a story from a professor who hosts a summer lab camp for pre-med students. So therefore, this is the brightest of the bright. And she was surprised at how unsure these students were, and they could not run their own simple lab tests. They felt they were not prepared and needed to know more before starting at the start. I think I've got one in my basement right now like that too. Third, we set an intention to live from a place of love and embrace the infinite possibilities that await us. Here's another quote from Albert Einstein. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. As divine beings, we are equipped with remarkable intellectual tools for solving problems. However, there's a twist. We have become so enamored in our intellects that we have often overlooked the deeper wisdom within us. We forget that we can tap into the reservoir of intuition that transcends rational understanding. The intuition is our inner knowing, is our connection to something greater than ourselves. So here's a story that supports this. In 2014, Lynn Novicki, yes, this is a personal story. She was in her mid-60s and knew that she needed a big change. Her career at the time had provided financial support and comfort, but it was a cost of high stress and increasing unhappiness. Retirement was not a word in her vocabulary. It's apparently not in mine either. Vocabulary. Instead, her heart yearned for right work for all her remaining days and years. In search of a new direction, she enrolled in a prosperity class at her CSL center. Her goal, not financial increase, but happiness increase. To create a new vision for whole life abundance. However, over the first few weeks of the class, she found herself increasingly frustrated. Classmates were having breakthroughs all around her. Mind maps, vision boards, and dreams revealed. Though treating for an opening to a new idea, divine guidance, she stayed stuck in what she did not want and had an uninspired list of what she could or should do or be. After voicing her distress and envy in a moment of sharing in the class, she was approached on the break by a stranger who had dropped into the class. And the stranger said, maybe your new vision isn't coming into focus because you're looking too far ahead. Try focusing closer to where you are right now and see what happens. So at first, Lynn resisted this advice. Her years as a science of mind practitioner had taught her to set her sights on the further picture, letting spirit fill in the gaps in between. But she quickly realized she had asked for help, and there was spirit delivering some thoughts through an unexpected channel. So perhaps she should listen. She carried her new idea home and into meditation, and almost instantly there came with the answer, ministerial school. Please note, CSL minister was on Lynn's could-do list. but it didn't spark any joy for her. Now, ministerial school lit her up like a Christmas tree. The very next day, she emailed the contacts at the Ernest Holmes Institute, and by the end of that week, she had embarked on the enrollment process. A heartfelt yes to her new direction continued to unfold in her ministry today. She would have thanked this stranger, but she never saw her again. I'm not sure how a stranger would randomly end up in a class, but okay. So now let's look at this from a science of mind perspective. Our individual minds are manifestations of one mind, the infinite intelligence that underlies all of creation. Our thoughts, our very essence, are made up of the same divine substance as the universe itself. And here's the kicker. Sometimes it's hard. The creative power within us knows no bounds, except for the limitations we impose upon it. How many of us let rules get in our way? Our own rules. So how do we tap into this limitless potential? It starts with acknowledging that we are more than just our intellects. We are vessels for spirit to express itself through us. Our lives are like spirit's pet projects, and rest assured, spirit always has our backs. It's up to align ourselves with the ever-expanding good that awaits our acceptance. So let's explore 3 points to illustrate this perspective. First, there is the idea of surrendering to Spirit's wisdom. Sometimes we just have to admit that we don't have all the answers and allow deeper intelligence to come through, whether it's through meditation, prayer, or simply being open to inspiration. The key is to relax, release, and trust that the perfect solution will reveal itself in due time. Secondly, we have what some like to call God winks. These are little synchronicities, seemingly random coincidences that serve as a reminder that we are on the right path. When I was reading it this morning, I didn't write it this morning. When I was reading it this morning, I was trying to think of a God wink example, and I thought I would ask the crowd because I didn't have one. Do you have one? Oh, I saw your lips moving.
When I'm thinking, my lips are moving.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I knew I was on the agenda to do the meditation this morning, and I knew Peter was presiding, and inside Peter's notes was a meditation, and it just appeared. We don't know where it came from. I looked at one word on it, and the word was intuition. And that's the theme of my talk today. So somebody wrote the meditation for me. There's the God wink. I don't know. Maybe it's from the yoga group. Do you guys do meditation and yoga? No? I just cleaned out that desk like a week ago, so I don't know where it came from. But anyway, it showed up for me. So that was the meditation this morning. So I had a God wink. So,
Is it God wink?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
W-I-N-G? W-I-N-G?
Yeah, like with your eye wink.
Flying like a wing?
No,
With
like
the eye
with your eye.
okay.
God wink.
Wink.
So, God had me. So I had an example. So whether this is a chance encounter or a timely piece of advice or even a literal sign from the universe, these moments are like gentle nudges from spirit, reminding us that we are never alone. So finally, might be trouble for some, not necessarily me, but There is the importance of embracing surprise. Sure, our egos might prefer the comfort of the familiar, but true growth lies in being open to the unexpected. By letting go of our need for control and embracing the unknown, we open ourselves up to a world of infinite possibilities. So what's the key takeaway from all this? It's simple. Trust. Some shaking heads. I just see one. Trust. Thank you, Glenda. Enthusiastic head wave. Head nod there. Trust in the wisdom of your inner guidance. Trust in the universe plan for you. In addition, most importantly, trust in your own ability to navigate life's twists and turns with grace and ease. As I wrap up, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on how you can incorporate these principles into your own life. Whether it's through a new daily practice, breath work, standing for 2 minutes, that one's pretty easy. Affirmations, a shift in mindset, or simply be more open to the signs and signals around you. Remember that divine intelligence is always within reach. So, here's to trusting in the wisdom of the universe and allowing it to guide us on our journey. I'm going to close, my favorite way to close, with a affirmation. Repeat after me if you choose to. Divine intelligence lives. In me. And guides me in each new day. And so it is.